Hello and welcome. Now I know what you're thinking. What the hell is going on here? A tier list? And you got that right. So today I'm going to be going over the Flipline Studios, I don't know what you'd even call this. I guess you could call it the Pizzeria series because it started with Papa's Pizzeria, but I'm going to be ranking their Flash games in a tier list here. I've also been playing them over at twitch.tv, Myllers TV. I got some videos there you can check out. Alright, jumping right into it here. I've also sorted them by release date. And yes, release date will play a decent role in where I rank them. This is also just a personal ranking, so don't take it too seriously, okay? This isn't the definitive, the end-all be-all here. This is just my personal thoughts. So starting off the list, we've got Papa's Pizzeria. So you might be asking yourself, well, where would the OG go? And this answer might shock you. It's in D tier. It's kind of shit, not gonna lie. It's not the game's fault, really, honestly. It's more so just that it was bare bones back in the day. Papa's Pizzeria is a game that a lot of people swear on Kanye West himself that they played, but never actually did. It was probably either Burguria or Pizzeria that you played. Even I, the Papa's master over here, thought I played Pizzeria, but I was surprised because when I first loaded up the game, the menu seemed foreign, the game mechanics were completely different, and then I realized, shit, I've never played this one before. So yeah, that's where Pizzeria ranks. The gameplay is pretty bare bones, nothing much to it. It's really, even not even comparing to these ones, it's just a really boring Flash game overall. But in stark contrast, the very next game, Papa's Burguria, this one went off, man. I'm talking, this is an S tier, without a doubt. Easy S tier right here. The thing about Papa's Burguria, you see, is that it's sort of an anomaly. Like, there is not a single other game here that I can safely say is an S tier, other than Papa's Burguria. Papa's Burguria was probably the most arcadey, fun, fast-paced game in the entire series here. You could even just like fast track the entire first week by just flipping the burgers, putting all the burgers on the grill, and then you had like a whole strat you could do where you could just fast track the entire week. So that was pretty cool. And they also this is the game that they introduced the upgrade mechanics, and there wasn't any real customization as to where you could put the upgrades, like posters and things like that. It was still a nice touch, something to actually grind for instead of just an endless sort of slaw through customer stars and unlocking all the customers. That was really boring, in contrast to Burguria. Anyways, not lingering too much on one game here. Next up is Paparia's Taco Mia. Yeah, of course, because I can English. Papa's Taco Mia. This is a game I actually messed up on. I played this like way down with these games over here when it was like the third game they ever released. I didn't actually know that. Where would I rank Taco Mia? I'm saying A tier. Taco Mia isn't really anything special. I just feel like, in general, there is still that gambling sort of gambling gameplay in a kid's game. Yeah, let me explain. So, in Burguria, you had the fast track strat where you could just put all the burgers on the grill at once, so you could fast track the first week. In Taco Mia, it's a little bit different. Instead, what you'd have to do is you had to like basically gamble what the customer would want. So you'd have to be like, okay, well, this guy ordered like a soft shell taco with just taco meat. Is the next guy going to order chicken with a hard shell taco? Or like you had to do all that good old mathematics in your head to figure out what was the most probable outcome. So that gave this game its own little charm. Still not as good as Burguria, though. No real big changes in terms of gameplay, mechanics, and things like that, or anything. I don't think they changed the upgrade system, not until Pancakeria. But moving on to Papa's Pizzeria. Yeah, this one's honestly, I'm going to say a B tier. The thing about Pizzeria, in contrast to Burguria and Taco Mia, this one's just way too grindy. Like, they added this mechanic that's basically just a timing mechanic where to get good on the pouring station, you have to have a really good reaction time. And I put myself in the mode of a... I'm talking about you'd probably be in grade 6 or 7, primary school or secondary school. Not secondary school. Maybe you're in secondary school and you played these games, but you'd be like at the computer lab, right? Dumbass kid doesn't know what the hell's going on, and they have like timing mechanics like these, and I feel like that just makes it all the more tedious. Pizzeria is a game that feels really tedious. Like, I'd go through, I swear, like multiple days where I wouldn't unlock a single ingredient, or anything for that matter. So it was a really grindy game overall. And there were also no significant gameplay like changes to the upgrade system or anything like that. So anyways, that's all I got to say for Pizzeria. It's not a bad game. It's just not anything to write home about, really. Pancakeria is an interesting one. I'm going to put it in A tier. Pancakeria, this is when they introduced customization, I believe, and also mini-games. Or maybe that was Pizzeria, they introduced customization to the decorations, but Pancakeria, Pizzeria, but Pancakeria, right? This one added the mini-games, and those were actually pretty, that was a pretty cool addition at the time. It was basically just like, okay, well, you had the main game where you actually did all the stuff, did all the cooking, went through the days, pleased the customers. And then you had, like, the off day sort of thing where it was just you'd play mini games to sort of get new items and get new decorations, things like that. So that made it easier to save money for actual upgrades. So Pancakeria introducing that was pretty nice. Gameplay-wise, I only have one gripe with this game, and that they level locked, I think it was rank 15, they level locked the last actual slot, which was the drink slot. Like, in these games, there's usually, you'll have panels, either 3 or 4 panels. You have the waiting station, preparing station, and then, finalization station, things like that. You'd have to play it to understand, really. But the best way I can describe it to you is, think of it as, a core gameplay mechanic being locked behind a level. So you're not going to be able to figure out how that actual mechanic affects gameplay until you reach that level. And that level was, I could not reach that in an hour. I had to be fair and play each game for only an hour. And I could not reach rank 15 in an hour. But overall, still, Pancakeria, even without that third slot, or fourth slot, rather, it was a good game. Good mechanics all around. I enjoyed my time with it. On the other hand, there was this complete asshole named Wingeria here. And you know what? Fuck it. B tier. B tier, yeah, that's a B right there. I mean, what can I say, guys? Cambridge University graduate here. No, this Wingeria game, it should never have even existed, honestly. This game is so dependent on its timing mini-games. The timing mini-games in this one are alright. I can understand, it's a pouring, sort of, you have to pour the cup type of thing. You can't really do anything else with that other than, a time the button press mini-games. That's fine. Wingeria, it's just all timing mini-games. It is the most tedious of all the games. They may have the mini-games, sure. They may have all the decoration mechanics and the customization. But Wingeria is just not fun to play. It is actually the Dark Souls of these games. It is just too tedious, too goddamn difficult. And I'm going, by a kid in the computer lab for maybe 45 minutes who's got, free time during class. You want to get through this as fast as you can, and Wingeria just prevents any progress at all. It is the slowest, most tedious game, and I'm not going to miss it anytime soon. Hot Doggeria is really special, honestly. If it was any other game, I feel like it would have been a B or a C tier, but Hot Doggeria is a solid A tier for me. The environment of Hot Doggeria really just carries this game home. It is just the baseball park environment, the stadium that they got is just a really different and interesting take on a dining location. Hot Doggeria's gameplay and mechanics are also really fine-tuned. I know I'm not going to go in depth about how you go you do this thing and then it affects this part of the gameplay, making game overall time to kill smoother or whatever. I'm not going to do some gaming science here, but I'm just going to say it outright. This game is probably the most relaxing out of all the games. This one's really chill. And also they added in a bunch of new mini games that were baseball related, so that was a really nice touch that they had. So yeah, I have no real complaints from Hot Doggeria. The only thing from preventing me really from putting it in S tier, honestly, I think it might just be the fact that there's no real, the game mechanics aren't amazing. They're alright, they're fine. It's really the location and the new minigames they add that really take this home, but I feel like the gameplay mechanics could have been just a little bit more arcadey and quicker. Especially since it's hot dogs and there's burgers, and they really could have matched up well, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Alright, first C tier here, Cupcakeria. Just an even more tedious version of Pizzeria, really. Yeah, I really got nothing to say. There was nothing really memorable about this game. I guess the flavors and the location was interesting, but the overall just core gameplay was just way too tedious. There weren't many timing minigames, but there were so many little minigames where you had to just get You had to pour the icing. That was the most annoying one. You had to get it right on the dot, exactly. Otherwise, you lose instantly like 10 points, and it was just really like, okay, well, I can't get this perfect. I can't get this right. So like, am I shit at the game, or like is the game just really, really petty in how it grades stuff? So really, and it just wasn't memorable at all. C tier. And the same thing goes for Pizzeria. Honestly, I thought it would be a lot better than Pizzeria was. Pizzeria, funny story. I actually thought this said Pastry. So like I kept saying, okay, we're gonna play Pizzeria next, and then and then my Twitch chat was like, buddy, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Pizzeria. So despite the fact that I've been speaking the English language for my entire life, I still have no clue how to spell. But yeah, Pizzeria. It just wasn't anything to write home about either. Like, they changed up the food, right? The mechanics weren't great. There was no real, like, amazing gameplay changes. It just wasn't even that good, honestly. It was pretty forgettable. And I think Cupcakeria, going back to this one, it did add the seating mechanic, and I guess you could say that's a game, like a new innovation, but it really wasn't. It didn't change anything other than that you could have another custom character, like take orders from people sitting down. It just didn't change much at all, really. Donateria is a B tier. It was pretty fun, honestly. I think they added some more mini games in here. And Donateria overall, I think the gameplay was just fine. Like it was pretty nice and a refreshing take on the series with Donateria. I guess it was because it was pretty damn simplistic. Like it's just a donut. How difficult can actually making it be? I mean, hell, I actually suck ass at these games, believe it or not. But this was a game where I was able to actually thrive. Like I was going off. Me making donuts was just, I was on a whole different plane of existence. Like nobody could match my donut making skills. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Donateria. But the only thing not taking it to an A tier would be really just no innovation. The location was pretty meh. But the gameplay was really good, so I'll give it that much. And I guess you could say the same thing really about like Pizzeria, because that one, again, gameplay and making the food, all that, it didn't feel like too tedious. It was just like just right. And same thing pretty much with Bakeria. Honestly, I believe they stopped innovating like at Hot Doggeria because the games got pretty stagnant after Cupcakeria. The only thing I could really marvel at was like how well the gameplay flowed. How was it fun to actually make the food? Was it not a chore to just like this motherfucker over here? Was it a chore, or was it actually fun to play the game? Now coming down to the last two, this is gonna be probably my most controversial pick. Okay, well, next one actually, Papa's Scooperia, C tier because, well, it was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie, it was just really boring. Nothing wrong with it. But it just was, again, same thing with the Cupcakeria, Pizzeria. Nothing to really write home about. Pretty damn forgettable. It was just there. It felt like no real innovation, no nothing. And now I'm also gonna do Sushiria. Now Sushiria, this thing was like the talk of the town, right? People, even in my Twitch chat, people were like talking this shit up, like, "Hey, where's Sushiria? Yo, that's the shit." And I was thinking, yo, if Burguria was like the Michael Jordan of these games, then this has got to be the LeBron then, because this thing is just like people are talking this thing up like it's the next Jesus Christ or something like that. And well, it was a C tier, yeah. Look, I'll admit it. Okay, the gameplay was pretty decent, but literally, how many games in has it been since like a decent innovation had been made? Like Hot Doggeria. Right, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th game in, and still no real innovation to speak of. It's like they just said, all right, after Hot Doggeria, we're just going to coast. And that's what they did, pretty much. So, Sushiria, while the gameplay was all right, it was just not like, it was the same thing I had played 7 times over. It just, like, it didn't really make a difference, in my eyes, at least. So, yeah. That's my tier list. Again, Burguria is just on a whole nother level. If I had to give like an official top 3, because these ones are all pretty much tied, I'd say it's going to be Burguria. Then at rank 2, I'd put Hot Doggeria, definitely. This one's borderline S tier, I'd say. And then I'd put Pancakeria, because that's when they put in mini games, and the gameplay is pretty nice. Taco Meat is alright. But yeah, tier list. I ain't got much else to say. I just felt like doing this because I got really bored, and Flash games are dying and all that, so gotta hop on the trends. Anyways, remember, I ain't got no catchphrase.